Recently, actually earlier this month, I was in India giving this TED Talk. On the way over there, I was flying. It's a long flight, and my last leg was about 2 hours or so. On that leg, I was put in a seat next to a family of four: the father, the mother, a girl, and a small baby. And after we took off, after about 5 minutes or so, the father pulled out a couple of books to the girl. The girl was this nice, maybe 8 years old, long black hair, nice, colorful dress. You had the smell of Indian spices around this flight cabin. And she got these textbooks that he pulled out. You see, one language and one in mathematics. Of course, I couldn't resist looking over and seeing what it was. And she was starting to do these exercises. And it went okay for maybe 5-10 minutes. But then after a while, you could just feel that she started moving around, hands and legs, and couldn't really sit still. And if you looked over and looked at what she was doing, were these kind of compulsory exercises, these math exercises. Just the same task over and over again. These pages of maybe 50 tasks over and over again. So if you remember from your own school days, these boring exercise books, no wonder that she became restless. She became bored. She became anxious, constrained there in between the parents, these textbooks and compulsory exercises. Fortunately, since I was going there to talk about play, I had with me about 10 Lego blocks. So I couldn't resist giving them to her and gave her these Lego blocks. And she started to play. She started to put these colorful bricks, the red, blue, and green bricks together. And she started to create a car, a house, a tree with these blocks. Actually, within the next 2 hours or so, she created 100 different things, just out of these Lego blocks. And she was so engaged. She was sitting there playing all the time, smiling, a big smile on her face, forgetting about time and place. She was devoted to play in that moment. She was so joyful, and suddenly she was forgetting about that she was in there in this constrained seat with the parents around her and so forth. And we're not going to play with Lego blocks today during this talk. What we are going to do is that we are going to talk a bit about playware and play. And what you will get in the next 17, 18 minutes or so is that you'll get the 3 A's and the 3 B's and the 3 C's of the playware ABC, which allow you to become as creative, as devoted to play, as joyful as this little girl were for that part of her life, to try to bring that into the whole spectrum of your life. Now, people have different lives than she has. Another one is Jason. Jason is a little boy in south central Tanzania, in the Iringa area. He's living with cerebral palsy, which means that, unfortunately, he has these problems in his life, for one. Secondly, in this society, he becomes stigmatized. But look at things like this. This is Jason. When we bring him playware, he becomes so engaged. He becomes playful. He is trying to move around and hit this colorful light. In his case, I think he loves the blue color. So he's trying to reach out. When he presses these tiles, they change color, and he's trying to change them into the blue color. And when he's doing this, he's forgetting about time and place. He is playing, and he's not thinking about that this actually helps him in a mental and physical rehabilitation. Because he's just playing. He's devoted to play. And he's playing with this playware. Playware is intelligent hardware and software that creates play for you. It mediates play. It pushes you into a play dynamics. Like Jason there, he's forgetting about time and place when he's interacting with this technology. Play is important because play can bring us somewhere. It can bring us, like Jason, to make different actions that we may be interested in. But play is also interesting because it's a free and voluntary activity that we do for no other purpose than play itself. So you're not trying to produce anything when you're playing. You're just in play and you're having fun. But at the same time, we may find some byproducts, as with Jason that we saw there. Unfortunately, for a boy like Jason, when he grows up, he typically is not going back after a while, he's not going back to the rural children's hospital where we saw him before. He stays at home because he's stigmatized in the society. So his mother will have him to play maybe around in the red soil outside the small house in the south central Tanzania area, or inside on the concrete floor in that house. So how can we bring this to him? Because we of course want to be able to help him in these situations. So what we actually need is a technology or different devices that mediates this kind of play for anybody, anywhere, anytime. The 3 A's of the ABC, of the Playware ABC. So we want to develop technology, playful technology, playware technology that can be used by anybody, anywhere, anytime. In the case of Jason, since in this case what we're doing is we're making modular interactive tiles. These are things that we can bring there, since these are modules, like the Lego blocks you had before. Imagine larger interactive Lego blocks. You can not take them in the pocket, but at least you can take them in your hands on the back of a car and bring them out to the house where he's now living, so that he can continue doing these rehabilitation actions that for him, though, is just play. Now, if we're to create these kind of modular technologies that we can bring to anybody, anywhere, anytime, we have to create them in different fashions than we are used to. Principally, we need to create them as modular system, as Lego blocks. But now imagine this being Lego blocks with processing power inside. Lego blocks with small computers inside. Lego blocks that can communicate to each other, that can attach to each other like this, that you can put together in different forms, like this modular robots, Atron robots that we made. These robots can become self-reconfigurable robots, shape-shifting robots, so that this robot is the total of all these atoms, all these Lego blocks, these 15 blocks, Atron modules. They define the overall robot, and the behavior emerges so that it can change from a snake to a car to whatever. So we can create technology that can shape-shift, so to speak. Right? In these cases, we are defining these robotic building blocks that helps us to be able to create different things. Now, in this case, what you have seen is that they can self-reconfigure, but we can also put the user into the loop and have the user to create with these modules. Again, modules may be different things. Here we have from the Center of Playware the Fable robots that we're creating, where we then allow people to take modules like you saw before and put them together. In this case, this girl Freya is 6 years old, and for her it's easy to take this apart and put together to create a snake robot, a spider robot, a human torso robot, and start interacting with them. Because we have a modular system, we can make her to create the physical shape of the robot and also the behavior of the robot. And also with these tiles you saw before, as you can see here, these are also modules in the same way. We can give them to people like the orphanages in Africa here, or a kindergarten in Denmark. They can put these together in different physical shapes and start interacting. In this case, they're chasing one color each. One is red, one is blue, and one is green, and they're looking at who can first catch 10 of his her color. Or they can start doing other games like here. They have to keep them alive. You see, they count down. When they press, they all light up again. If one of the tiles go to 0, the game is lost. So that mediates a social interaction. Nobody has told them to divide this up, but of course they figure out if they want to keep the whole surface alive, they need to cooperate. So the technology is mediating a social interaction without us having to do anything or say you have to cooperate together. Here's another one where it's simply like beads changing colors if he wants to make a pattern. On the other side, on the right side, you can see they have changed the physical shape and you get different physical interaction when they change that shape. Now what you have seen now is that what we can do is we can build bodies and brains. And this is important. This is the B, the 3 B's of the Playware ABC, building bodies and brains. Because what we can do now is with the robots you see, they change the body. Often in technology, we have thought, okay, software is the interesting part. We can start making the software adaptive and flexible and change the software. Well, we're saying you can also change the hardware, make that flexible if you make a modular system. So, and this is very important because philosophically speaking, in the past we have seen for the last 50 years or so a split between the body and the brain in development of, for instance, artificial intelligence. There's been a split between hardware and software. There's been a split between building and programming. So what we're saying is, no, there is an intimate relationship between the body and the brain. And you can actually utilize that, if you think of it, and create this by manipulating with both the body and the brain. You create technology and playful technology for anybody, anywhere, anytime. Now, if we freeze the brain, imagine that we freeze the software. So here we have again, you'll see the same brain, the same software in all these cases here. One where the therapist here is just chasing a color moving around. Now, if he changes the body, the physical layout to be a line, then this cardiac patient here will have a totally different interaction pattern. Now you see she's moving sideways. He has not changed the brain. He has not changed the software. He has just changed the body. Right? So it's very easy for him to create different interactions for the cardiac patient here. If you want to do it for a stroke patient, he can take if we go on the right side, a stroke patient who is partly paralyzed in the left side. So he puts them up on the wall, and you see he has to support the left arm. Now you see, he wants to reach there. He's reaching those extra 10%. Almost he cannot reach out there, but he's doing that. Why is he doing that? Not because the therapist is telling him, this is rehabilitation, you have to do this 1,000 times. No, because he wants to progress in the game. He's in a playful state of being. He's forgetting about time and place. He's not thinking of this as rehabilitation. He's thinking of this as play. I want to play this game. So I want to progress. I want to, you see, he almost cannot, but he needs to take those extra 10%, right? And in these cases, we see that the therapist for this patient, whether it's cardiac patients, stroke patients, the young mentally or physically handicapped kids. So what they're doing is that they're physically changing these things to get different actions from the patients. If, for instance, they want to do balancing training on one leg, they can make a platform where you use one leg. If the patient becomes tired, they can make a horseshoe, so they can use both legs. If they want to train for field of vision, or if somebody has neglect to one side, they make them a platform that goes around them so that they, in the play, are driven into opening up their field of vision because they need to follow the light that goes around. So what they're doing is essentially exploiting the C of the playware ABC. They construct, combine, and create. So they're creating new solutions for these patients simply by having these modules that they can combine in different fashions. So if they want to train for somebody who cannot reach very far, they can make a small platform 2 by 2. If another one can reach a bit further, like on the other video, they can just put up a slightly larger platform and challenge this, in this case the kids, but it could be anybody, challenge anybody to perform those extra 10% than you would normally do, because you're so devoted to the play that you're forgetting about time and place, and you're just doing this for the pleasure of the play itself. Now, of course, you may be interested and say, okay, play for me is many other things. So can we do this for other things? Yes. You can become creative, as we say, with the construct, combine, and create. You just create in different platforms. In this case, put these tiles together as these modules together in another fashion. You can have a football game like these kids in Soweto in South Africa during the FIFA World Cup. Just put this up and drive into the townships and make a new kind of interaction that are suitable for that particular context, which is if you're interested in European football, for instance. And this is during the FIFA World Cup. So we toured around there and have them to play this game so everybody could become part of the World Cup experience. Or you could be interested in other things like music. So actually, what I also did on this trip when I was flying with this next to this family going to India was that after a while I pulled out this other thing I had, which was simply on the iPad. We've been developing together with Peter Gabriel, this thing with the tiles, where I say, couldn't we use the tiles to create music? And let's see if we can go over on. Now, you can imagine each tile, each module now is an instrument. Each color is an instrument. And depending on where you connect, that instrument plays different sounds. So take the blue one is the bass. If you connect the blue one to east, it will have one sound of the bass. If you connect it to north, it has another sound of the bass. To the west, another sound, and to south, another sound. Right? So I gave this to the girl and said, why don't you try this one out? And actually, after about 15, 20 minutes, she had been so creative that she started to make her own tunes. And in the app, we can record that. So I recorded that, and this is kind of what she made after about 15, 20 minutes. And I hope we have the sound now. We should have boost that a bit, I guess.
I've been feeling the rhythm.
So that's amazing that just somebody who has not been playing that kind of music before, within something like 15, 20 minutes can do a thing like that. It's just so creative. And I want to leave you with this. All these examples we have seen, people have become so playful, so they have embraced play in their life through the playware ABC. The little girl, she's become so creative. Jason was the boy with cerebral palsy in Tanzania. He became so joyful while at the same time rehabilitating. The cardiac patients and the stroke patients, they are also rehabilitating while they're forgetting that they're actually doing that. We can think even about training elderly for balancing and so forth with these things, and we see amazing effect on that as well. In all cases, they have embraced play, and by playing, they're transforming their own lives. For you, of course, play may be something different. It may be whatever, traveling, it may be socializing, it may be playing at the festival here. Whatever it is often so that you're working very hard during your normal life to have these few moments where you are in a playful state of being, in a play dynamics, where you are forgetting about time and place. Now, wouldn't it be nice if you could actually, by embracing play and this mediated by things like the playware ABC, that you could actually transform so that you embrace play more in your life. So you extend those few moments that you're always looking for in your working life to have time to play. If you can extend those moments to much larger period of time where you are forgetting about time and place. So it's time for you to think about if you want to live to play, or actually play to live. Thanks.